What if humans could fly? Have you ever dreamed of flying? Not in an airplane, not with a parachute. Just flying with your own arms and wings, like a bird. Imagine waking up in the morning, walking outside, and opening your arms. Suddenly, the wind lifts you up, and you start to rise into the sky. You see your city from above the roads, the roofs, the parks, and the people. Everything looks small and peaceful. It sounds like magic, doesn't it? But what if it were real? What if humans could really fly? Let's imagine this new world together. The day humans learn to fly would be the most exciting day in history. People would run outside, laugh, and jump into the air. Some would fly high and shout with joy. Others would be scared at first and fly slowly, close to the ground. Children would fly above playgrounds, and parents would watch with happy tears. Schools would have new rules: no flying in the classroom. Teachers would ask students to land before the lesson starts. In playgrounds, children would play tag in the air instead of on the ground. There would be no need for swings anymore. Flying would be better than any game. If humans could fly, everything would change, even simple things. You would not need cars or buses. People could just fly to work or school. No more traffic jams. No waiting at red lights. You could fly above the city and reach your office in minutes. There would be special air roads in the sky to keep people safe. Air police might fly around to make sure everyone follows the rules. There would be traffic lights for flying lanes to green, or go up, red for stop, and yellow for fly slowly. Shops would sell flying gear, soft gloves, sky helmets, and wing protectors. There would be flying fashion shows where people show off colorful wings. Kids would decorate their wings with stickers and glitter. Cities would look very different. Houses would have flat roofs for easy takeoff and landing. Apartments would have sky balconies with soft nets to help people land safely. There would be air stations instead of bus stations, places where people rest, chat, and stretch their wings before flying again. Skyscrapers would have sky bridges connecting them. Imagine going from one building to another without using an elevator, just flying across. Delivery workers would drop packages right at your window. Postmen would fly from house to house with letters tied to their belts. Firefighters would not need ladders anymore. They could fly to save people from tall buildings. Doctors could reach accidents faster. Even pets might learn to enjoy short flights with their owners, though cats might not like the idea much. Your morning routine would be fun and fresh. No buses, no cars, no trains, just wings and wind. People would fly in groups like flocks of birds. Friends would meet in the air and talk while gliding side by side. Students would fly together to school, laughing and racing each other. But sometimes it would rain and flying would be hard. On windy days, people would have to be careful not to blow away. Schools might close on stormy days, just like when there's snow now. Weather forecasts would be very important for everyone. Airports would change too. Planes would still fly for long trips, but short flights would be done by humans themselves. There would be rest zones in the air, floating platforms where people could stop, drink water, and take a break before flying again. The sky would be full of color and movement. Early in the morning, the air would be busy, people flying to work, birds singing beside them, clouds glowing pink and orange. At night, the sky would sparkle with city lights below and stars above. People might fly to high places to watch the sunset or lie on a cloud-shaped platform to look at the moon. Tourism would change too. No need for airplanes or long car rides. People could fly to the mountains or the sea themselves. Couples would take skywalks together at sunset. Families could fly to islands and enjoy beaches from above. Even going to school would feel like a small adventure every day. Imagine visiting the Eiffel Tower and flying around it instead of climbing it. Or flying through the Grand Canyon instead of just looking from the edge. Every place would feel new, alive, and full of wonder. But flying could also be dangerous. There would have to be rules to keep people safe. No flying too high. The air is thin up there. No flying near airplanes. And always check your wings before leaving home. Governments would build sky zones, areas for safe flying. Hospitals would have sky emergency units for people who get tired or fall. People would wear small safety belts that open soft parachutes if they fall too fast. Children would need special flying lessons at school. Teachers would explain how to use wings carefully and how to rest when tired. There might even be sky traffic police who give tickets for flying too fast. Sports would change completely. There would be new games like Skyball, where players fly and throw a glowing ball through hoops in the air. Racing competitions would be held in the clouds. Olympic Games would have new events like high glide, fast turn, and longest soar. People would cheer from below, watching colorful trails in the sky. There might even be air dance shows, groups of flyers moving together like ballet dancers in the air. Festivals would have light shows made by people flying with glowing suits at night. Birds might be confused at first. They would see humans flying beside them and wonder, who are these big, funny birds? Some birds might become friendly and fly together with people. Others might get scared and fly away. Scientists would study how animals react to flying humans. People would finally understand what it feels like to move like a bird. They would respect the sky more. They would protect trees, forests, and clean air because they would need it to fly safely. Pollution would have to stop, or people couldn't breathe well in the sky. At night, the sky would be peaceful and full of lights. People would wear glowing bands around their arms and legs to stay visible. There would be sky cafes on tall buildings where flyers could rest and look at the stars. Some people would fly just for fun, to feel the cool air and look down at the sleeping city. Imagine birthdays in the sky, floating parties with music, balloons, and laughter above the clouds. Or weddings where couples say "I do" while flying slowly together in the sunset light. The world would be more beautiful and full of joy. Flying would feel free, like dancing in the wind. It would be calm and exciting at the same time. You could escape traffic, noise, and stress. You could fly to quiet mountains or hover above the ocean, feeling the salty breeze. But flying would also make people tired. You'd need strong arms and healthy food to stay in the air for long. There would be gyms for wing training and special diets for flyers. Energy drinks might be made with extra vitamins for flying days. The world would be more open. Borders would mean less. You could simply fly across them. People would visit each other more often. Families would fly together on weekends. Long-distance relationships would be easier. Energy use would go down too. No need for so many cars and buses. The air would be cleaner, the planet greener. Birds, humans, and the wind would live in balance again. Governments would need new maps, not just of land, but of air routes and sky cities. Yes, there might even be cities in the clouds one day, homes built on floating platforms. Shops, cafes, and schools could exist above the ground. Children could play in soft sky parks while parents work in floating offices. Flying would make people dream again. It would change how we see the world. From above, everything would look small, even problems. People might become kinder and calmer, seeing how beautiful Earth is from the sky. Artists would paint new kinds of skies. Musicians would write songs about freedom and wind. Writers would create stories about love and life in the clouds. Humans would finally feel like part of nature again, not just walking on Earth, but flying through the air. Not everyone, maybe. Some people might be afraid of heights. Some might get dizzy or tired easily. Others might prefer to stay on the ground and watch the flyers above. There would still be cars, trains, and bicycles for those who can't or don't want to fly. Still, flying would bring people closer. No matter where you are, you could rise into the same sky. The sun would shine on everyone equally. Maybe that would make the world a more peaceful place. What do you think? If humans could fly, how would your life change? Would your mornings feel lighter? Would your city look brighter from above? Would you fly to work, to school, or just for fun? Think about how it would feel to move like a bird, free, fast, and full of joy. What if it could really happen one day? Would you want to live in that world? We would love to hear your thoughts. Please share your ideas and feelings in the comments below. Tell us what flying means to you and why you think it would change our world. Your voice can inspire others to dream bigger. Let's start a conversation and make a small change together.